This is a narration of History of English Literature, Chapter 60. And this is about a poet who was very quite important, and not just important in the sense of he we should know about him. In England, he was a very important person. He was known as the poet laureate, which is a unofficial official poet that is granted um, a seat of authority in the political world of his country. We as America have one, and you can go look her up. And I didn't know that this was a thing until I learned about this man, John Dryden, and he was the first poet laureate, and he lived in England, and a lot of people grant a lot of Chaucer and Shakespeare's success to this man. And Dryden, we don't know much about his childhood, and he is frankly um, very misty about what happened when he was younger, because which is surprising because of how important of a man he was. He attended Cambridge, and he spent 7 years here, and we have some accounts of him being a very unruly person, a very naughty person at his school. He was he was rebuked a lot and very often for cursing nobles and teachers and professors at his school. After he spent 7 years here, he felt very regretful of his time there, and he hated it. And when he went to Cambridge, he wasn't going for poetry. He was going for a different subject. But in Cambridge, he started writing poetry, and he just started writing it and became very good at it and praised by his students or by his peers. And after this, we have not really much accounts of him. We have him traveling, and he got married um, to a to an earl's daughter, and he ended up having 3 children. And it said that he loved them very well. Again, we don't know much about his children or who they were. All we know is that he loved them very much. And after this, he continued to write poetry. And after becoming the poet laureate, he wrote a poem of Cromwell, the King of England, dying. And so this was one of his really big poems at the time. And he ended up becoming very beloved in England. And he was friends with Chaucer. And Chaucer, when he wrote, was very good friends with him. And Dryden became the cornerstone and the foundation for Chaucer's writings. So I'd say this man, John Dryden, should be much more known than we know him as today. And I'd say the reasons for this was he he pretty much created a title, the Poet Laureate, which is as we went over, it is a political and authoritative role in the government as a poet. And so that's a really big thing, and that created a whole kind of authority and a position in the government. And also, much of his works are early poetry, and he is named a poet of his age. And there's actually an age called the Age of Dryden. And so, do this man, he was a very intellectual, smart, and well-known man for his time. But surprisingly, we don't know much about him today.